Hello, everyone. Welcome back to lesson 17, readback portion for our theory class. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Here we go. Ready? This is going to focus mainly on plural words, along with your new briefs and phrases, and numbers 1 through 10, using your briefs for your numbers. Okay, here we go. The trays are full of food. Period. Number 2. How many, make sure you phrase that, H-O-U, final M. How many pies should I make for the bake sale? And that sale is flagged, S-A-L-E, interrog. Number 3, the paws of the cat are wet. Period. Number 4, we will take a pause for the cause. Now, pause, P-A-U-S-E, is a word. So we're going to write that as P-A-U-Z, pause, for the cause. Period. Number 5, she runs a cupcake business with her sisters. Period. Number 6, do you know, and long O, any good jokes to tell to the crowd? Crowd is going to be K-R-O-U-D, crowd, interrog. Number 7, we will use ceramic tiles in the kitchen. Ceramic is going to be S-E-R, sir, and then am, come back for A-M. Third stroke would be come back for I-K, ceramic. Okay. Number 8, Jan skates very well. Period. Very well is going to be our brief for very, V-E, and then final L, V-E-L. Period. Number 9, the old man had many, you want to phrase that, had many balls, period. Number 10, he said the information was false. So falls, he falls all the time, would be F-A-L, come back for final Z, and then false would be F-A-U-L-S, period. Number 11, haul these boxes of books to the closet, period. Closet is written K-L-O-Z. Second stroke, come back for E-T. Closet. Okay, number 12. Some men have lots of jobs, comma, and some men have no job, period. Number 13. Did you see the cars line up in a row? In a rog? Number 14. Use more salt on the steaks, period. Okay, number 15. He went to the pool for a swim with the twins, period. Number 16. Put the stacks of paper in a pile here, period. 17. Have the girls left for school yet? Interrog. 18. Alfalfa grows wild. Period. 19. Put the jewels in a safe place. Period. 20. We have been to many, which is T-O final M, too many, Broadway plays. Broadway would just be written as B-R-A-U-D, second stroke, W long A. And you don't have to flag it because it's more than one syllable. We have been to many Broadway plays. Period. 21. Please turn out the lights when you leave. Period. Number 22. What time do the stores, don't flag do that, conflict with dot. What time do the stores at the mall open on Sunday? Interrog. He knows that she is very smart. Period. 24. The dog bit her nose. Period. So do you see the difference? The first sentence that I just gave was he knows that she is very smart. So that nose would be N long O, and then second stroke would be final Z, as opposed to he bit her nose. Nose on your face is N long O Z, one stroke. Okay. The dog bit her nose. Period. Okay, number 25. His shoes are a size too small for his feet. Period. 26. How many rows of seats are in the classroom. Interrog. 27. He bought her a red rose. Period. 28. Take time to smell the roses. Period. 29. The gentleman with her brags a lot. Period. 30. He takes the bus to school. Period. 31. This should satisfy all your needs. Period. 32. The saws were dull. So that's a plural word. So you're going to come back for your Z. 33. The taco. Now, taco can be written two different ways. You can either write that as T-A-U, final K, last stroke, come back for long O, or T-A-U, second stroke, come back for K, long O. Either one works. The taco needs more sauce. See the difference between sauce and saws? Period. 34. She gets good grades in school. Period. 35. The professor reads lots of books. And professor would be written as P-R long O, second stroke, F-E-S, come back for E-R. Or you can write it as a P-R long O, second stroke, F-E-S, come back for O-R because of the spelling. That you have the choice of either the O-R because of the spelling or striking it as E-R because it sounds like professor. Either one works. And the reason why we can write that as a PR long O is because it's not really considered a prefix. Professor, the pro is part of the word. So that's why you can write it with a long O, okay? As opposed to the word profess, you know, all of those words that we learned back in the previous lesson with the prefix pro. That's exactly why you can write this one with a long O, because professor, you've got the word pro, that's part of the word. It's not really considered the prefix of the word. You can't really take out pro and have it make sense as fessor. Okay. All right. So the professor reads lots of books. Period. 37. Spice up the Dole report. Now, report is going to be R-E, and then second stroke, P long O-R-T, report. We're going to get a brief for that eventually, but it hasn't happened yet. Okay, so spice up the Dole report, period. 38. The spies were put on trial. Period. 39. It is his turn to wash the dishes. Period. 40. She jogs at the park on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Period. 41. Can he repair? And again, that would be considered a prefix. So you'd write that just as R short E, repair the holes in your shoes. Interrog. 42. Take these baskets of food to the picnic. Period. 43. Where did you leave your keys? Interrog. 44. You should practice for 5 hours each day. Period. You're going to want to use your word 5. So that would be written as F long I final V. Period. 45. She has been in business for 6 years. Period. 46. The 2 small boys made too much, which is going to be phrased TAO final CH, made too much noise. Period. 47. She rides her bike 9 miles each day. Period. 48. Do you remember what the 3 basic rules are? Interrog. 49. I need to buy 4 new tires for my car. So the first 4 is the number 4. So we're writing that as FOUR. And then when we say for my car, that's going to just be FOR. Period. 50. Kara, there's 2 ways you can write Kara. You can either write that as K long AR, come back for A, or K long A, and then come back for RA. Kara or Kara. Kara bought 8 new designer would be D long E, second stroke S long IN, third stroke ER. Kara bought 8 new designer pillows for her couch. Period. 51. That guy owns a yacht and 3 houses at the beach. Period. 52. Our dog is 7 years old. Period. 53. John ate 10, use your word, T-E-N, big pieces of fudge. Period. 54. Ask your neighbor. So neighbor will be N long A. Second stroke, come back for B long O-R. Ask your neighbor. Or if you hear a then you could write it as N long A B, come back for O-R. If you hear neighbor and you don't hear a long O, you can write it just with O-R. Ask your neighbor if you may borrow and borrow is going to be B-O-R. Second stroke, come back for long O. Borrow 1 cup of flour, F-L-O-U-R, and 2 cups of sugar. And sugar, even though it's spelled S-U-G, we're going to write it like it sounds, S-H-U-G, second stroke, A-R, sugar, period. 55. It is 8 miles up this trail. Period. 56. Be sure to lock the 3 legs of your tripod at all times. Period. 57. The girls go to school 5 days a week. Period. 58. Do you think that you can phrase that whole thing, that you can, T-H-A-U, final K. Do you think that you can meet me at the beach on Saturday? Anurag. 59. Do you know who wrote this book? Anurag. 60. You are a very good writer. period. 61. They will write us a letter as soon as they can. Period. 62. Sheila, I would write Sheila as SH long E, second stroke LA. Or you can do SH long EL, she'll come back for A. But I hear the break after the Sheila. Okay, so I recommend you do SH long E and then second stroke LA. Sheila has to write 6 letters of correspondence by Friday. Period. 63. They have about 5 questions that they would like to ask at this time. Period. 64. She wrote an 8-page letter to the correspondent. Period. 65. What do you think about the new writer? Interrog. 66. I think our teacher gives very good advice. Period. 67. You should have written her sooner. Period. 68. Will you please write up the order for me? Interrog. 69. I wrote that the job was good in my correspondence. Period. 70. You should not question his motive. Period. 71. You will have 1 month to write the report. Period. 72. They thought that the questions on the exam. Now, let's talk about exam. Exam can be written 2 ways. You can either write it as EX, second stroke, come back for AM, or you can do what we call a squeeze and write it as initial X, AM. We really haven't talked about the initial X yet, but it is the KP. Okay, so the initial X is written as KP. That's our X. And we write it with our ring and middle finger on our left hand. So you can squeeze exam as initial X, AM, exam. Or you can keep it like it's, write it the way it sounds as EX and then come back for AM, exam. You have the choice there. We're going to be learning about our initial X in lesson 18. Okay, so you do have a choice there. Okay, so they thought that the questions on the exam were very hard. Period. 73. She has not written to me in quite some time. Period. 74. What time do you think they will be here? Interrog. 75. Ask them when they think they can finish up the project. Period. 76. Please feel free to ask us any questions that you may have. Period. 77. Write down your answers to the questions on a piece of clean paper. Period. Now you might be asking yourself, can I write a brief that is plural and use the final Z all in one stroke? And the answer is no. We write briefs just like we do any other word. If it's plural, we're going to come back for final Z. So like questions would be KWE, and then in a second stroke come back for Z. Answers, SWER, in a second stroke come back for final Z. Okay. All right, 78. Write me a quick note if you think that you, actually the phrase is that you can. We can phrase that whole thing, that you can, THAU final K, that you can make it to the company picnic this Sunday. Period. 79. Do you think that the plan will work? Interrog. Number 80. Not a trace was found. '81. We will stay in log cabins. Period. 82. The warm days of summer put me in a daze. So let's look at that. The warm days, so the first days is plural, D, long A, come back for final Z. Put me in a daze, D, long A, Z. So we're avoiding a conflict there. Period. All right. 83. The cola, so let's look at cola. Cola would be written as K, long O, coal, second stroke LA. Or if you hear it as cola, you would write it as K, long O, L, and last stroke as A. Cola or cola. The cola fizzes. So fizzes, F-I-Z, come back for final Z. When you pour it in the cup. Pour, P long O-R. Even though it's spelled P-O-U-R in English, we don't want to conflict with power. 84. He reads lots of books when he has extra time. Period. 85. You will make high wages when you go. We can phrase that whole thing. When you go to work. Period. 86. She uses flour when she makes cakes. Period. 87. He watches the football games on Monday nights. Period. 88. I will not believe you. Don't forget our squeeze for believe. B-L, long E-F-B. I will not believe you if you tell me fibs. Period. 89. We saw many plays. Period. 90. Put the rings in a safe place. See the difference between plays and place? Period. 91. Would you like some crackers with your soup? Soup is going to be written as S long U-P. Interrog. 92. Do not lose your ticket stubs. Now let's talk about lose. Lose is spelled in English L-O-S-E, but it has a long U sound. You have the choice. You can either write it the way it's spelled as L-O-Z. You have to use a Z because of the sound, but you can use the vowel L-O-Z like it's spelled, or you can write it as a long U, L long U-Z. Just don't get it confused with loose. My tooth is loose, L-O-O-S-E. That would be written as L-A-O-S. Because of the O-O, we use the A-O. So lose, L-O-S-E, you can either write it with the vowel that it's spelled with, L-O-Z, or L long U-Z, depending on what one you prefer. Do not lose your ticket stubs, period. 93. This should satisfy all my needs. All, A-U-L. Period. 94. What is your gross income? Income. I-N, come back for K-U-M. Income. Interrog. 95. He pulls very hard. Period. 96. Take her pulse tonight. period. See the difference between polls and pulse? 97. Buy the book with the gold edge. Edge is written as E, final J. Period. 98. Did you hear the cry in the night? Interrog. 99. I have forgotten. So for is a prefix. We need to write it with a long O, F long O-R, so the software doesn't think it's just the word for. I have forgotten the jokes. Period. 100. Some men have lots of jobs. Period. 101. The crutches are not much fun. Period. 102. Have the girls gone yet? Gone is going to be G-O-N, gone. Interrog. 103. I went with the twins. Period. 104. The boxes are full of worms. Worms is going to be W-O-R-M. Come back for final Z. It's not a long O. It's not worms. So we write it just with the vowel, the O. 105. Higher wages mean higher prices. Period. 106. He plays basketball. Look at that. B-A-S. Second stroke, K-E-T. Third stroke, B-A-L. Basketball. At the gym, J-I-M. On Wednesday nights. Great example of why we flag the proper noun, gym, the name gym. 107. Let's see here. Do you think that you can, flag that whole thing, meet me by the pier today? And that pier is flagged. Interrog. 108. You should have written consent. Period. 109. Keep your voice up nice and loud so that we may all hear your question. Period. 110. What kind of writer do you want to be? In a rock. Now, want, spelled W-A-N-T, can either be written just like it's spelled W-A-N-T, or we can write it with the broad A, W-A-U-N-T. I prefer the broad A because I hear the broad A. I like to just stick with that rule, but I still like to give you the option. Okay. 111. They will advertise in the paper. Period. 112. They can help you with your lesson. Period. 113. We're almost done. That is some good advice that they gave you. Period. Last one. 114. I think that you will be a good court reporter. Period. Now let's talk about reporter. Reporter. We're going to write that as R-E, second stroke, P long O-R-T, third stroke E-R. Eventually, you're going to get a brief for court reporter as well as report. Report is R-O-R-T. Then you just come back for E-R for reporter. But eventually, you will get a brief for court reporter, just not yet. All right, in due time. All right, that concludes our readback sentences for lesson 17. If you struggled with any of that, then just go back and listen to it again, and make sure you go back and listen to it again, compare it to your notes and see how you're doing. Okay, that's how you know, that's, for one thing, that's how you read your steno. The second positive note on with doing that is looking to see what you're, being able to identify what your errors are with what I read as opposed to what you wrote on your machine. So if you have any questions, please just let me know, and we will learn more about double-digit numbers in lesson 18, our next lesson. So for now, just get those briefs down 1 through 10, as well as just practicing 0 through 9 on your keyboard, and then we're going to learn more about those in lesson 18. So for now, you just want to get used to striking these different numbers, going through and striking those, the 5 and the 0, okay, using your left hand, okay, middle index finger along with the 5, middle index finger, and your left thumb with the 0, okay. All right, so again, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in lesson 18. Have a great day.